for going viral. Recent reports say the Miami Heat are willing to take on Russell Westbrook's money and take on Russell Westbrook's personality if he is traded from the Thunder. One fan didn't wait to see what that would look like, photoshopping a very unique drawing of Russ in a Heat jersey.
I like that.
With Westbrook liking the picture on the gram.
Ooh.
I like that. You like that fit, Sarah?
I do. I do.
What's up, Jenna?
No, I know it's him. Where's his face?
Well, it's evidently that's Parker George's style of art.
Or he's not that good at drawing faces.
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna
maybe
go with that one.
Who knows?
But it's good. I like it. And I like Russ in Miami. I'm down with that.
His Instagram, I'm being told, hold on, update coming in from the news desk. His Instagram page has a lot of faceless people on it, drawn like that. So that's his style. That's his trademark. Parker George making the show. Well done. Getting the old Instagram look.
It was enough that Russ saw it and liked it on the gram. Why do you say that?
Because Deontay's our Instagram expert. Deontay's always scrolling through the gram, trying to slide into DMs and the whatnot.
Yeah, he better make sure he stays on his phone.
That is inappropriate.
Absolutely.
Kawhi Leonard now, two-time Finals MVP, has reportedly signed a 3-year deal worth $103 million with the Clippers. Turned a few heads who assumed he'd sign for 4 years. The last year of the deal is a player option. So that means in 2021, Kawhi could be a free agent again if he so chooses. It also means his contract now matches up with that of new teammate Paul George. See, what does this tell you about his future?
Well, for one, he wasn't as concerned about his health as some other people. Because if he was concerned, you go ahead and get that extra plus one. You get the extra year. So one of the misinformation that was out there when Kawhi was going to sign was the only short-term deal existed with him going back to Toronto. Oh, he would try to run it back with them on a 1-and-1. But no, Kawhi was not going to sign more than 2 years with any team that he looked at because he just finished his 8th season. It does not make sense for him to be under contract. He's got to be able to have that option because then he gets that big jump in his contract. So to me, it speaks on the leverage he wants to have, his overall health he's not concerned about, and one of the most surprising things about free agency was how aggressive he was in taking the initiative to go out there and talk to players who he didn't have an existing relationship with and hadn't been in communication with. That right there was very surprising.
Yeah, and you said it, the word leverage. I mean, this is exactly what we would anticipate out of Kawhi Leonard. It's a smart, shrewd, savvy move in doing what works best. And I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing for the Clippers, but ultimately it gives Kawhi the leverage and the power to be able to, when that player option comes out, look at the roster, look at the team. He's someone that we talk so much about really wanting to trust an organization, trust the medical staff, trust everyone he's around. And he can have that belief and confidence in the Clippers, but until you're there, until you're in it, you don't ultimately know what exactly it's going to be like. And I also think you bring up a great point about that 2021 free agent class, which this contract lines up with Paul George. It also lines up with LeBron James. It also lines up with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bradley, some others. So I think for this, Kawhi Leonard is setting himself up in a really excellent position. And also allows the Clippers to, as well, a minimum of 2 years, but allows the Clippers to continue to prove to Kawhi that this is the best place for him.
Yes, I remember LeBron James when he initially went to the Miami Heat. There were a number of things he had talked about with the organization, but he didn't get it in his contract. They had just talked about him.
Exactly right.
Man, as soon as LeBron signed, man, Pat Riley took a lot of that stuff away.
Yep.
LeBron was like, hey, I thought we had whatever was in the contract as far as seats, people in the locker room, VIP services, all the stuff he had in Cleveland. That no longer existed once he went to Miami. LeBron learned something.
A lot of the handshake agreement stuff, the stuff that wasn't in the contract. These guys, the special dispensation he had received in Cleveland, he was not given in Miami, and then he got it back when he went back to Cleveland. Like, we are now to a point in the NBA. This is not for all guys. Hell, I mean, Reggie Bullock just had the Knicks basically say, hey, the contract we agreed to, it's not available to you anymore. And Marcus Morris went to the Spurs and said, I'm going to go take his contract. So if you're not a top 12 guy, what I'm about to say doesn't apply to you. But if you are a difference maker, if you are a guy that can turn the fate of a franchise with your decision, you become eye to eye with the owner as far as most powerful people in that organization, as long as you have the credible threat to leave, as long as you have a free agency or an option year hanging over their head. And so the owners did not want these 7-year deals anymore that became albatrosses. And what they didn't expect, or what they didn't anticipate, was the butterfly effect of that. The unintended consequence of that is guys can sign with your team and immediately be approaching free agency. And what they didn't anticipate was how many guys at the top of the league who already have hundreds of millions of dollars will make decisions that at first blush look like the wrong financial ones, that will say, oh, the Spurs can give me 5 years, $200 million. No, I want out of here. Oh, the Raptors can give me the most money. No, I want out of here. Oh, the Clippers can give me 4 years, 140. No, I'll take 3 years, 103. That they will continually turn down enormous amounts of money because they already have so much money in order to be able to have leverage. And the other aspect of this is this does let him hit free agency in his 10th season when he can get the biggest possible contract if he wants to sign a long-term deal anywhere.
And also you look at this, and this gives you leverage if it's a place, too, that you want to stay at. Lots of times we've seen guys in the midst of their deals requesting a trade or wanting out or not wanting to be there. They don't have any leverage other than going somewhere else. This allows Kawhi to have leverage in a place and at a point where he's not necessarily needing to say, you need to do this. Right. I want to go somewhere. He could still stay there, but now he has the power because he's not stuck in a contract for another few years.
Even when you go back home, you need leverage. LeBron, he showed you that. Dan Gilbert, not bringing back the general manager. You know something? Championship, we got one. He was so satisfied with that. So, man, Kawhi, he won't have that problem. Even though he's back at home, still keep the pressure on the organization and his owner. Let me tell you, he might have a lot of problems in life, but money won't be one of them.
Do we think Kawhi stays with the Clippers? Is there any part of this that's because Kawhi's not sure that's where he wants to be?
See, to me, I don't want to start speculating that Kawhi doesn't want to be a Clipper before he's even played a game as a Clipper.
I can say this. Kawhi wants to be a Clipper. The only deal to be made by his team was to do a 2+1, so he can be a free agent at that 10th year. He don't want to wear another uniform, but it don't make sense for him to sign for 4 years, even though he still has that same thought process.
Right. If you look at the guys who have signed long-term deals, that didn't have to. Steph did it because he has full faith in the organization. He was eligible for the Supermax. They'd won championships. He didn't need to exert pressure. LeBron going to the Lakers signing for the maximum years was to signal to the rest of the league, I am here to stay, come join me. Like but if you're not in that type of position, unless you are really concerned about injury or about your ability to continue playing at a high level, you might as well continue to hit free agency as early as and often as possible to keep pressure and to keep viable, flexible options. Because the other thing for Kawhi, I'm sure he wants to be a Clipper, but what if something happens to Paul George and Lou Williams, and all of a sudden it's like, man, like through nobody's fault, so there's some catastrophic injury, like, can I win a championship here? That flexibility is a good thing to have.
Flexibility, leverage, and I do think he gave up money coming to the Clippers, money he could have had. This allows him to get to that Supermax with the 10-year at age 30 and make a lot more money there on the back end with a new contract.
All right, Sarah, we'll see you a little bit later on the show. Thank you. Coming up, some football. Would Todd Gurley return to form next season? That's next on First Things First.
Sorry.